Greetings, Augies worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. Today we're going to take a look at a microphone. This microphone is designed for video recording, not for ham radio, although I suppose you could use it for that. This is a handheld mic that you might call an interview mic. You've seen those newscasts where people wave around the mic back and forth. It's made by Comica. Let's see, trademark registered and owned by Light Technology Company Limited. It's made in China. I got this on Amazon, and full disclosure, I've been reimbursed by the company for buying it. This is the CVM-WM100H UHF wireless microphone. Unlike a lot of other popular wireless microphones these days, it does not use Wi-Fi for its transmission link. It uses a frequency in the 500 megahertz band. Now, you may have heard that the FCC made some changes in frequency allocations for wireless mics, and a lot of Hollywood studios were just screaming about this because their microphones were using the old 600 megahertz band. Well, there's still parts of the 600 megahertz band that are okay. The 500 megahertz band is okay under the new regulations. When I'm going to be in Duke City Hamfest next week, I am going to talk about how hams can share their expertise using a YouTube channel. So this is a microphone that can be used for just exactly that. Good for interviews. I don't have a microphone that's like this, so I can't do that. So let's take a look at what's inside, shall we? If you open it up, and these seals are kind of funny because they hide something that comes out like that. You've got to break the seals to get in. And then there is inside a black bag. Okay, here is the black bag. Let's open up the main portion of the black bag and see what we see inside. Okay, we've got the microphone in foam here, very nice foam protection. It's a hefty thing. Holding the thing up like this, it's plenty hefty. I'll have to put an OG logo on it, I guess. And then there is a receiver. This receiver receives from the microphone. It's a wireless microphone. This is the receiver, and the receiver connects to the recorder or your camera. And there's also an opportunity here to put headphones on so you can monitor the audio. Normally, if you have a sound guy, they would monitor the audio as it goes into the camera to make sure that there's no clipping or it isn't too much background noise or something like that. Now let's take a look over here in the side case. They have a few things which are still wrapped in plastic. This is the user guide, which is written in both English, pretty good English, there's some weirdisms in here, and then Chinese. So I guess you can practice your Chinese. I'm a little surprised. A lot of the owner's manuals for the Chinese handhelds have been coming out in English and German, but this is in English and Chinese. So English is kind of the international language. You can see that it has multiple channels you can put it on in case you're getting interference on one of them, the range that it operates over, and the transmitting power, which is 15 dBm, which is not very much. It talks about the lavalier transmitter. There is no lavalier transmitter in here. There is the receiving receiver. So they've got the same manual for the handheld transmitter and the lavalier transmitter. Now this microphone that I'm wearing right here on me is a lavalier microphone. It is done by Sennheiser, who is one of the top names in audio. both professionally and for Pro-Am and things like that. So we're going to be comparing the quality of this microphone with the one that I have on. Okay, let's see what we've got here in the way of accessories. This right here, which we'll pull off, screws into the bottom of the receiver and then can go into the shoe on a camera. Okay, so you can mount the receiver right on a camera, like a DSLR or something like that, and then plug the audio directly into the camera. This right here is a cable. This goes from the receiver. Note that it has a screw-on connector so that you can screw that on so it doesn't come loose. And then a standard microphone connector that you would find in professional or high-end audio installations. My mixer, for example, will take this as an input. And then there is this, which is the... Boy, where do they get this plastic that just shreds? This is a more standard cable. The one with the screw-on goes on the receiver, and then this one goes into the recorder or microphone. Either way you want to do it. I like to record audio separately because the audio, to avoid clipping, I record it what's called cold, meaning that it is not up to full volume. And then I go into Audacity and fix that. This is a clip that you can put on the microphone, or no, on the receiver, so the sound man can clip that to his jeans, whatever. And a card, a very low-key picture. This is a person strumming on a guitar, and there's some drums there. And then this right here shows very darkly a camera with a Comica lens, or let's see, that would be a foam cover on a directional microphone attached to a high-end video camera. You can just see the fingers there and some black hair right there. Okay, so I'm going to just take one of these out. I'm going to put the big one back in, and we'll keep this out. Okay, so let's go to here. Now, to put the batteries in, I've got 4 batteries here. These unfortunately aren't alkaline. I made a mistake and bought a bunch of batteries at Home Depot that turned out to be the old, quote, super heavy duty. Well, they weren't. They're just plain old-fashioned zinc batteries, and they don't last very long. They're cheap. That's the thing about them. They're cheap. Well, they deserve to be cheap. Now, to get to the battery compartment in the mic itself, we have to unscrew, and it unscrews here. Unscrew that whole bottom, okay? Now, this same microphone can be used, and it'll have a cord coming out, but it's not set up for that. So we put the batteries here, and it's interesting, they go backwards. They go negative end in first, okay? Negative end in, like this, okay? And then the cover goes back over it like that. Okay, we'll turn it on when we get some batteries into the receiver. Here is the receiver. Now here's a little feature I don't really care for. The battery compartment is, you get into it by pulling on this, and then the tray comes completely out. What a great way to lose the battery tray. it ought to come out and stop or something like that. But it wants the batteries in, let's see, this way, and this way. All right, and it will presumably only go in one way. Yeah, good. It won't go in backwards. Push it till it latches. Okay, now we'll just turn turn this on with a long press. Okay. Power and muting button is 4. It's up here. Okay, hold down for a while. There we go. Okay, it's on. Now, just out of curiosity, hello, 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 hello. Look at that. Okay, so that's taking the setting that just comes with it. Now, what we're going to do is try using it. The cable is not very long, nor should it be. And we don't want the headphone jack, we want the output jack. So we'll push this in, and then we will screw it down on well, that isn't going on, is it? There. Okay, now this goes to the recorder. Okay, let's move this over here. And I'm going to take the Sennheiser out and put this one in. And it'll take a moment to adjust. Hello, hello, hello. You know, it actually looks to be about the right level. You could put it down here, up here, wherever you put it, be consistent. I'm holding it out here. If you hold it directly, you're going to get puffs, plosives, and that sort of thing. You usually want to hold it down here out of the way. Put it in the other person's face. You can say something, and then back over here. So let's take a look at how it sounds. I'm going to go on the computer and see how it sounds so far. Now, the reason that I'm doing this on the same recording on the recorder is so when I do audio processing, it processes the same on all of the entire recording. So whatever processing the Sennheiser input gets, the Comica will get also. Okay, so let's do that. And so I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to come back and tell you what I've learned. Okay, well, I'll tell you what I've learned so far. The mic is a little bit more high frequency, and you do hear the plosives, the P's coming out a little bit. So I think the audio is plenty clear. It's definitely me, although it is definitely a different microphone. There is a setting on this microphone that I want to show you, and to do that, I'm going to unscrew the battery cartridge. I changed the setting on this thing to remove the low-pass filter from the circuit, and the low-pass filter might give us a little bit more of the loads. If you turn that low-cut filter on, it will cut out things below 100 hertz. And there is in the male speaking voice a few fundamentals that are down in that part. So we'll see how that part works. So let's go take another listen, and then I'll be right back with the conclusion. I did do one small bit of additional processing. I used this filter, which rolls off after about 2500 hertz, particularly after 3000 hertz, to cut some of the extra treble that's in the microphone that I found a bit bothersome. This is an easy filter to do in Audacity, which is what I use for my audio processing. The remainder of the video is done with this filter in place. Well, there we go. We'll just end with this microphone. My conclusion on this microphone is that the little switch to allow frequencies below 100 hertz really doesn't change very much. It's there so you can eliminate the 50 or 60 cycle power supply hum. 60 cycles in the US, 50 cycles in much of the rest of the world. And I don't have a problem with that here, so I'm just going to leave it the way that it is. The thing you can see is recording. Normally I would make it just a little bit hotter than that, but I can do that in Audacity. That particular little divot right there is showing minus 12 dB. All the way up is 0 dB. After that it clips. So we try to record cold, meaning below that level, and then we'll bring it up in processing, is 16-bit audio. So you can do that and not have a great fear of a whole bunch of noise coming into the microphone. So is this a recommended mic? I think so. I'm looking forward to using it. One thing you have to be careful with is the plosives, the pop sound, which tends to create the plosive sound in the microphone. So it needs a windscreen, that's for sure. Okay, so I've got to find a windscreen for it. This is a fairly standard sized handheld mic. I'm sure I'll be able to find one, particularly to use outdoors where wind noise would be a problem. The mic is, it didn't say what the shape is of the reception, the opposite of the radiation pattern, the reception pattern. I suspect it's a cardioid mic, meaning it's pretty omnidirectional, except maybe in the direction of the handle. Do I recommend it? Yes. Is it cheap? No. It's on Amazon. Here's where you can find it on Amazon. I've got a link on my webpage if you buy it through there, or the link that's listed in the text that goes with this video. You'll also be helping Ham Radio Answers a little bit. It's a nice mic. Again, if you're doing anything other than an iPhone these days, since iPhones have pretty much killed camera sales. So all the cameras that are available are more high-end, and that goes for the sound equipment that goes with them. For example, this microphone here is over $200 for the microphone. The Sennheiser that I'm using originally was well over $400, closer to $600. I picked it up used from my son, and judging from the state of the cases, very used. He's a video professional in the Denver area. So thank you very much for watching. Please be sure to check out dcasler.com/support for all the different ways that you can support Ham Radio Answers. And please, I hope, if you're in the area, I'll see you at Duke City Ham Fest, which is coming up real soon. And I'll certainly have slides to show and pictures of the Hamfest and so on coming up after the Hamfest. I have made a decision having to do with a vertical antenna, and that antenna should arrive sometime in the next couple months. It's one that is being special made, so I'm looking forward to it. Should be a really, really cool antenna. It's a step IR, big IR, vertical, and they wouldn't send me the antenna just to review, so we negotiated a price where I could have it and pay part of it, and they would pay part of it, and I'll go ahead and review it and do a few videos about it. So we can look forward to learning all about vertical antennas. Hopefully it'll get here before the snow flies. So it's been fun chatting with you all today. Please remember to subscribe and to like this video, and we'll talk to you later. Until next time, 73.